Today's my little redneck science class. I wanted to discuss the 3 cycles of nature: the carbon cycle, the water cycle, and the mineral cycle. And cows, or bovine or buffalo out on the Great Plains, enhance all 3 cycles of nature. So the grass that the cows are eating is also, you can call it carbon, or you could call it organic matter. But all the grasses are just simply carbon. We are carbon-based life forms, and so are cows. What's nice about the cows doing it, what I try to do with the cows is I try to get the cows to trample as much grass as they eat in a day. That's how I size the paddocks. And the reason I do that is to add as much carbon organic matter to the soil as possible. So as you can see, this is just a random spot in one of my fields, but look at how many layers of carbon there are here. And I'm still not even down to the dirt yet. There's at least 3 or 4 layers, and this is all just worm food, the stuff way down on the bottom, and it keeps the ground nice and moist, like an insulation layer. So keeping the soil covered and adding as much carbon as possible to the soil allows the ground to hold much more water. So supposedly, from what I've read and understood, for every 1% organic matter on 1 acre of land holds 20,000 gallons of groundwater. And plants also, as they grow, they take in carbon, CO2 from the atmosphere. They bring the carbon down into the ground and slough off the carbon in their root system, or they turn their blades of grass into carbon, and then they release the oxygen molecule for us to have air to breathe. So again, for every 1% organic matter on 1 acre of land holds 20,000 gallons of groundwater. The organic matter, and I think it's over 90% of the farm ground in the United States, is down below 2% organic matter in the soil left, because of overgrazing, or because of plowing is like the worst thing you could do for the carbon cycle when you expose all the soil. There's nothing pulling carbon down to the soil, it's just releasing the carbon back to the atmosphere. And CO2 is the bad word nowadays. But when the ground is managed properly, you can use cows to improve soil health. And the other thing, from what I understand from what I've read, the mineral cycle is the 3rd cycle of nature. And you have to have 3 to 3.5% organic matter to have an effective mineral cycle, because the root system and the funguses in the soil actually make a phosphoric acid, and that phosphoric acid mineralizes the stones and the rocks in the soil. And then the plants take up those minerals into their leaf blades, and the cows get to eat those minerals. That's why nowadays our food doesn't have many minerals in it, because like I said, over 90% of the soil that we farm on in the United States is less than 2% organic matter. So there's not an effective carbon cycle, there's not an effective water cycle, and there's not an effective mineral cycle because of it. The 3 cycles are linked very tightly together. You cannot have one without the others. That's my little science lesson of the day. Thanks for watching.